G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Happy February Collage Club sheets. This is 6 of what you'll be seeing in the set of printables for February 2025. It's February, obviously Valentine's Day plays a huge role in what I'm inspired to create for February. There's lots of new stuff in here as well, so I'm going to go through everything pretty quickly and keep this relatively short. You know I love to chat too much on these videos, and I think you just want to get into it. So, Valentine's Day being the theme that we're going to team with, I've got hearts, those little candy hearts, little sentiment ones. I did them in red and pink, not the pastel colors, because I just wanted to keep them, I don't know, I was just feeling really red and pink. Everything is red and pink this month. So, numbers, I've got in here. I also put the 20 and the 25 together to make a little 2025. Whatever. I was going to say, I don't love doing these in a way that really connects them to a certain year, but sometimes I just do it, so it is what it is. Because I like them to be evergreen, you know what I mean? Like, you could use this February pack 3 years from now and it's still relevant, because it's Valentine's Day and you want to use the hearts, but then you see 2025 and you think, oh, that's an old sheet. But if you'd never seen that before, you wouldn't know. Whatever, I did it. I'll have to get over it. I did this with some Liquitex ink. This was staring at me, and I have a whole bunch of numbers I did for Collage Club once that were all like really 3D looking paint, and it just was one of my favorite set of numbers I've ever done, so I wanted to bring some of that back. It has this really liquid, puffy look to it, so I really like that. And I just put some sentiments in there that were relative to Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day, love, I love you, love. And then these were stamped out with different stamp sets. Some of them are numbers as well, like that's an upside down 1, a 0, a back to front 3, back to front, upside down to make the E. But yeah, I used a bunch of different stamp sets. It's kind of like a ransom note style where you've got all the different fonts that you piece together, but I just stamped it. So if you've got a whole bunch of stamps, get them all out and do some ransom note type stamping. I think that would be fun. Put an extra 14 down here because that is Valentine's Day, just in case. Another 2025. Because I work in multiple journals. Sometimes it is helpful to have a couple, but also they're a little bit different sizes. I don't love to resize everything, but you'll see right at the end I do have a page of minis. Sometimes I think it's appropriate. So let's move into page number 2. Lots of illustrations. All heart shapes everywhere. Hearts in the hair, hearts in the bust line, hearts as the clothes. She's got 2 little heart buns. This is lots of like heart hair, a nice graphite piece here. Heart-shaped face in a heart-shaped balloon in a regular balloon. And she is a stamped out piece. I had my stamps out. You can see lots. If you've got the Goral stamp set, I used a lot of that. I think even, yeah, this one is stamped out as well. So I've been doing lots of stamping and illustration. If you've never seen that technique before, just type in stamp and illustration in YouTube. I'm sure one of my videos will come up and you can see that process. It's essentially using stamps as the blueprint, drawing over the top. It's great for, things where you want to be really creative but not have to draw out the base of everything all the time. Sometimes that just takes so much time, and, I was just such in a Valentine's Day mood. I had art supplies everywhere. I was getting the paints out, the inks out, everything was out everywhere, and I just thought, let me stamp all this out. So, but this is from my Italy travel journal, these 2 little drawings over here. These are from pictures that I took in Italy, and I wanted to sketch out some of the things that I was inspired by. I loved her pose, so romantic. I also put in some extras of the hearts everywhere, but you'll see these crochet hearts. I did not make these. A friend from work actually made crochet heart garlands and brought them into work, and everyone got to pick one. So I took the classic red, because I love red, and I scanned a couple of the hearts just so I could put them in here. I thought it'd be a really fun texture. And I'm sure some of you have taken up crochet or knitting as a hobby, and that kind of, I feel like that lives in that world, right? Definitely crochet. I actually don't know. Is that knitting or is it crochet? I'm pretty sure it's crochet. I've never done it. I will never be patient enough to want to figure that out, but I do love the fiber arts. So there is some of that. We've got the Labubus. This is mostly a Pop Mart global page, let's be real. I did put a paintbrush down here and this little monster as well, just because I felt like they kind of teamed with the theme a little bit. But I've done all my little love-themed Labubu. I can't help myself. I really don't know when they're going to drop off, but I think this is the 2nd month we've been doing Labubus and getting their whole dedicated sheet. I did put a Hirono as well. I have these little Hirono figures, and Steve got me one of these. He actually bought it for himself, but then when he unboxed it, he saw how perfect it was for me. And then I went on this little bit of a rabbit hole, little creative frenzy where I wanted to draw myself and in all these different characters. And so this is the me one that's a fairy. And it doesn't really look like me. It looks like Peter Pan in Tinkerbell's costume, to be honest. But I love this. I love this. I think it is so cute. I keep wanting to draw more and more and more. I don't have enough time in the world to be able to draw all the ones I want to draw, but I thought I'll at least get the fairy out because I love that. A lot of the and these are collectible kind of adult toys, like figurines, like vinyl figurines. I don't really know how to explain it other than it's like a toy you buy if you're an adult. So it is what it is. I've just become obsessed with them. It's Pop Mart Global. They have a whole bunch of different styles. They're all in blind boxes as well, so you never know which one you're going to get. You buy the box, you open it up, and it's just a surprise. But I'm pretty lucky. I always get the ones that I want. So this one I thought, well, what would I draw my little Hirono character if he was a fairy? And a lot of them have this cardboard box that, you know, he makes into different things, like a little robot, not a robot. I'm sure there's a robot, like a rocket ship, and he puts them on his head and like crafts things out of them. So I used the box idea to put, like, he's just wearing a box, but it's got Tinkerbell's dress drawn on top of it, and then the box, like, 2 flaps from the box are the wings that he's drawn the wings on, and even taped some of the cardboard box he's cut out as stars to make his wand and his little headpieces. And I love all the taped things everywhere, like little taped leaf, the taped poppy, the taped flower over here. He's got 2 little antlers. I'm obsessed. Can you tell I'm obsessed? I think he's just so cute. He looks so angry too. Very much feels like me. So anyway, that's my little obsession. There are some other ones, but they're not in this month's collage club. I drew one of Steve and myself, and they're both with the cats. And they're so cute. So I'm going to put them in a different month's collage club. They're already in a page ready to go, but just didn't feel right to put them in this month. So I stuck with all the hearts and the lovey-dovey theme. You can see all the little boo-boos. This one's eating chocolate. This is a little Cupid one, the secret, the brown one. And these, I mean, I just kind of all made them up, but they're very much little boo-boos. Like, they're the exact little character. I don't think I even really changed too much about them. I just kept them in a really, I don't know, really like wonky style. Like, they're not too finished. If you look closely, you can see my drawing, like my working lines and everything. I kept them really kind of naive drawings. And originally I was going to give them to you uncolored, but I thought, no one's got time for that. No one's coloring in right now in February. It's too early in the year. We wait for the coloring. We're still figuring out resolutions. We're still trying to keep up with everything we expected. So I decided to color them for you. And those are my Labubu's. This is one of my favorites, is the He Loves Me Not Labubu. I love this hot, like the messenger one, the little UPS Labubu. I really like the chocolates. I think he's funny too. And this one is super cute. I do put a lot of heartbreak ones in here, like sad things. I'm under no illusion that every single person enjoys Valentine's Day or is spending it with a loved one this year. So I want to make sure I represent for all the heartbroken girls out there. So this is for you, girls and guys, but I mean, you know, I call you all girls. So it is what it is. But this is, you know, this is my attempt to make sure that everyone, whether you like Valentine's or not, has an opportunity to put something in their journal about it. And we're back to the hearts. I love this. I think I did something similar to this last year, like a heart face. I might have flipped or something. Not quite sure. She has that heart, I want to say snood. It's not what it's called. Hood? There's something this is called. They wear it like Maleficent, and the evil queen wears things like this. I'm not quite sure. I've forgotten. Anyway, I put Hopelessly Devoted, R.I.P. Olivia Newton-John. And these are actually, if you see text in here, because I think there's another one. Oh yeah, A Friend. These are things that I've clipped out of junk mail. So it's not like I've put this text in here. Sometimes if you look really closely, you can even see the grain of, you know, the print quality that the junk mail comes in. And I really like that. Like, I think I really accentuated the grain in this one. This one turned out pretty clean and neat. But if you use the silhouette cut files, sometimes there'll be a rectangle box around them, but this one is very specifically like cut around the letters. So it would make a really nice title. And I even like the semicolon there, just so you can maybe even use it as a journaling prompt, but they are separated. So you could just use Hopelessly by itself or Devoted by itself. And I thought about that way too much and honestly lost a lot of time putting together my collage sheets. But sometimes I get really stuck on a certain thing and I think, no, this is important. And I talk about it 2 days later and realize it wasn't important at all. So this is another one of those Stampin' illustrations. This is from my Italy travel journal as well, Venus. You might have seen her before. She's very stylized here. And a couple of these illustrations from my gridded my big Moomin grid journals. This, I believe I was working on, it was that, I've called it like that K-pop style that I was working with, but it kind of ties into this obsession that I have with Pop Mart Global right now and those character toys, because I imagine that if I got to design my own toys for them, they would look something like this. There are already toys that kind of look like this, which is really surprising to me, and I think that's why I've found such an obsession with it. And I've seen Pop Mart before, like I've talked about it before, I've even looked into it before. I think now owning some of them have kind of, piqued my curiosity a little bit more. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, I'm just really fascinated by it all. This is, I bet there's something gambling in it because it's a blind box, right? So there's that thrill. I'm not quite sure. Do not diagnose me online, please. But I'm looking into it. I'm looking into why I'm so fascinated by it. Steve's worse than me at this point, so at least there's that. His fascination's gone a little bit deeper than mine, so I feel fine. This is one of my favorite pictures that I drew this month. She's quite vibrant in real life, and this is the only sad thing about, well, it's not a sad thing, but I tried to get it as close as I possibly could. There's something that happens when I use, and I used to avoid this all the time, when I would use fluorescent colors or really, really bright colors. When you're scanning something, there's only, all that information has to be turned digital. So it's scanning with light, and it's looking at all those little pixels and it's saying, oh, that one's a red, that one's a pink, that one's a green, that one's a blue. And it puts together the information to create the image on your computer. Now, computers don't really process fluorescence. Fluorescence is it's the way the light reflects off of it. Like, it just looks different. It's super, super bright. And even though things on screen can look fluorescent, a lot of the time when the information is being picked up in the scanner, it won't pick up as fluorescent. It'll be really, really super dull. So I actually can't scan a lot of these things. Most of what you're seeing that looks quite vibrant in these collage sheets is something I took a photo of, which is a completely different editing process than scanning. I mean, no, I wouldn't say completely different. It's kind of the same, but there are different things I have to take into consideration. A lot of it is texture. And so you can kind of see a little bit more texture, I would say, on things that I've taken a photo of. But I think I would always rather sacrifice, and I can smooth it out a lot. Like, this has been really smoothed out. I think this is as good as you could ever really get, because then you have to also, remember, it's got to go back out the printer. And if your print tank doesn't have fluorescent pink, it's not going to print fluorescent pink. So you have to choose colors that are as close as you can get, which is the brightest magenta you can kind of get, or you have to contrast those colors with other things to make them appear brighter. But on a white background, sometimes it just looks, it will never appear as bright as the white. So there's a lot of different factors that I, take into account when I'm doing stuff like this, but I used to avoid bright colors in my drawings all the time on the off chance I'd want to scan it and put it into something, and I wanted to avoid all of the hassle of figuring it all out. But I do think I've got a really good system now, and I actually think she turned out really, really well, considering how much of a challenge this type of coloring is to be able to get onto the computer, to edit, and then to print back out again. Even the edge, like I did a lot of this where I sprayed the whole page, and so you can see there's a lot of bleeding and feathering around the edges, which is such a beautiful soft look. But how do you even make a cut line for that? Like, what do I edit out? Do I smooth it all out and make it nice? Because I really like that soft effect. So you can even see there's a kind of a blur around the edge. You can still see some of that bleeding edges, but this cut line is very, very, it's very jagged as well. So it's just some considerations I make if you've ever wondered why certain things, don't look exactly the same as they do when you see a picture of them. A lot of the time it's because the colors are too bright to register on the computer and that you can't even reprint them that bright. But I do try my absolute best, and I will say I think I do a pretty good job. I'm impressed with what I do. Considering I know next to nothing about computers and it's all self-taught, I will say I'll pat myself on the back just for figuring that out, because there was a time I didn't even realize you could just take a photo of it and it would be different colors. I thought it was just a computer problem. So the photos is really where it works. If you're ever trying to make a collage sheet or get some of your own work onto the computer, just use some natural daylight, take a photo of it. Your iPhone photos, your cameras on your phones now are usually good enough to be able to do this, but if you have a really nice camera, you can get much better quality. But yeah, use a photo of it rather than a scan. It also means anyone can make a collage sheet. If you've got a phone, you're ready to go. Here is some more love stuff. This is a bit Glinda from Wicked. I went and watched Wicked again, so was on the brain. These little peekaboo heart-shaped characters, I thought they were really funny. These ones have big kissy lips. These ones are just a little happy little crew over here. And even though their cut line is a little, like there's a little white space at the bottom, I would chop that off so that they peek out of something. I'm planning on putting these in my 5-year Hobonichi, and so they're going to peek out of the lines. I always like these things that kind of pop out of somewhere, so those are that. This is more of an abstract page of stuff. Like, she's like an abstract journal girl. Just this abstract little head, more crying and sad for Valentine's Day, just in case. And an abstract little fashion face. This egg, don't know why. I eat a lot of eggs, so maybe that's why. And this little crowned person. Don't know if that's a mouth or a nose. I think that's up for interpretation. And this little head, this is from years ago. Goodness, I couldn't even tell you what year that was from. But this page is a little bit more abstract. A little quirkier. And then minis. I'm getting a little stuffed up. I should try and wrap this up really quickly. Wasn't this supposed to be a quick video? 20 minutes later? Sirens are on. All right, this is minis. Everything you've seen already, like the fashion girls, all the little Labubus, and Pop Mart. Actually, no, it's just the Labubus. This was anything that I felt like was really Valentine's Day. I especially wanted to get the numbers in a smaller size as well, because these are going straight into my planner. Actually, let me grab one now. Just while that siren goes away. There we go. 1, 2. Oh, I'm gonna have such a good time when this camera's off, putting all of these in here. Oh, it's gonna be great. So I wanted to make sure that you had a bunch of minis to play with. I know there's so much stuff that goes on in Collage Club every month. I always tell you, just download it, have it in your back catalog of downloads, and come to it when you need it. You don't need to print everything as you get it. I do, because obviously I make these videos for you, but I use all of this stuff. And, you know, I like to, even though this art is in other places, I always like to put it in my 5-year journal. So having a minis set of everything is great, because my 5-year is so small. It's A6. So a lot of this stuff is the right size for this. But it's also the right size for a planner, because, you know, I don't need hefty decoration in a planner. But I do want to put stuff in there. I love to decorate my little monthly spreads, because I print them out on this sticker paper, and then I use the cutting machine. They essentially all become stickers, and I have just at least 5 sheets of gorgeously themed stickers on months that have, you know, Valentine's Day and Christmas and Halloween, and it's hard to get all of it used. So I don't want you to feel guilty if you're one of those people that prints it out and thinks, oh, I didn't get it all used. So I always just encourage you to download it so you have it, because remember, they do rotate out after 4 months. But once you've got it, you know, print it as needed. And then wherever I think it's relevant, a page of minis is always something that I would just suggest printing out, because it's just like a snapshot of everything. And a lot of the time people feel a bit better about 1 minis page than 5 of these. Also, these can be quite big. I mean, you can always resize them when you print them, but they're really substantial. So they're meant for kind of people who aren't afraid to use stuff in their journals. So if you're a little bit intimidated, or you want to start off a little bit smaller, start with the minis this month and go from there. And maybe even this one, just because these sentiments and these hearts are really easy to get in there. And then the Labubus, because you want some of those in there as well. I mean, I guess just print everything. Why not? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that is just a look at what we have for February 2025. I am currently working on getting the catalog, I think it's 4 years, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I'm getting the 4 years all done in that catalog, so I can have that updated for myself. And then that will be available on Amazon. And yeah, I have a whole bunch that I need to get back up on Etsy as well, because I stopped that I'm pretty sure I didn't do it at all in 2024, but I need to catch up on that. However, this will be available for you February 1st. I hope you have a lovely time with Collage Club, and I will see you again very soon, I'm sure. Until then, have fun. Goodbye.